Controversy over a Defense Department DEI hearing. We're talking to a lieutenant general who wanted to attend but couldn't.
Outrage from military veterans who are claiming they were left out of a DoD hearing on DEI. The hearing, which originally was supposed to be in person, was moved to a virtual setting at the last minute after many had already booked their flights. And some, like the image you're seeing here, suggesting they were kicked out of the virtual meeting. I don't know if we have the image, but or weren't able to join at all. The veterans wanted to speak out against the negative impact of woke ideology in our military, including our next guest, a U.S. Air Force veteran who's also part of STARRS, which stands for Stand Together Against Racism and Radicalism in the Services. Served our country as a 3-star, Lieutenant General Rod Bishop. Sir, thank you so much for joining us. You commanded tens of thousands. There was a public hearing that was supposed to happen. It was supposed to be in person, then they moved it online, and then they limited it to 100 people, and you were not allowed in. What is this DEI committee, first of all, and what was this meeting about?
So, Pete, thanks for finally getting to meet you. This committee, DACODAI, Defense Advisory Committee on Diversity and Inclusion, is a follow-on to another organization that kind of flew beneath the radar for many years. That organization was called Military Leadership and Diversity Commission. And what these two committees are doing, the first one wrote the blueprint and created the foundation for this DEI empire in our United States military.
Why is the DoD so obsessed with DEI? I know in my background, I know in yours, race was something that wasn't a factor. It wasn't how we looked at soldiers or airmen. Now they've made it an obsession with DEI. Why is that?
Pete, I think you nailed it a couple of weeks ago when you announced your new book, The War on Warriors. It's being pushed upon the military by some political ideologues. And unfortunately, it is unadulterated, undeniable, easily proven Marxist-based ideology that's being forced down the throats of our servicemen. Our own DOD is not only facilitating it, they've built an empire to track it and to make sure that the provisions of what they're ordering are being carried out.
General, why are other generals going along with this? You're standing up, other colonels are standing up. Why are people in power who know better than this allowing this dangerous ideology to infiltrate the ranks?
Peter, at first I wanted to give the general officers and the leaders the benefit of the doubt, but there's just so much on this now that they just have to know, that those Marxist roots. When I talk about the Marxist roots, people sometimes say, "Hey, come on, let's be positive." Well, if it didn't come from the Frankfurt School, which was previously known as the Marxist School, that
Yes.
set up shop in Colombia, of all places, still a hotbed of leftist ideology, then where did it come from? So I think you nailed it a couple of weeks ago when you said, the leaders of today, unfortunately, just don't seem to have the moral courage to stand up against this. They're too potentially concerned with their next promotion.
That's exactly right. There's a feedback loop that incentivizes them to do nothing and to go along with the ideologue so that they can get promoted and then get future jobs when they leave the military. By the way, you hear from, by the way, check out their website, starrs.us, STARRS.us, because the amount of examples that you have from people actively serving, it's an amazing resource, people that reach out and share their stories. When you hear from people serving and the impact of this DEI ideology, what's the impact on units, on readiness, on capabilities?
Unfortunately, negative impact all the way around, Pete. You asked me in a comm yesterday why this matters. It matters because there's two organizations, I think, in our United States that we least likely want to have this indoctrination taking place. Our K through 12, young impressionable minds of our kids. And you attacked that in the battle for the American mind. Thank you. And the other one is the military. I mean, the people who write a blank check as collateral with their lives. Those are the two organizations. And now you're attacking that with War on Warriors. Thank you again for that. So who is going to want to fight for our country if we're all taught from kindergarten that we're a racist and a bad country? I mean, I don't think I would have raised my hand and said, no, yeah, I'm going to take this oath of office.
Bingo. And that's why they can't fill the ranks right now. It's a self-inflicted wound. It's almost like some of the top might want it that way. Lieutenant General Rod Bishop, thank you for your service, first in uniform, now afterwards. And the organization, again, is STARRS.us with two R's. Check him out. Appreciate your time, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
You got it. By the way, we reached out to the Department of Defense for a statement, but did not hear back. And I'm grateful to the General for mentioning my new book, The War on Warriors. We go into great detail about how DEI is being peddled and pushed, just as the General had said, and the impact on units. I saw it firsthand in my domestic deployment here at home. It's scary, it's insidious, and it's crushing our ranks. Check it out anywhere books are sold.